Hi, welcome back. Certainly glad you could join me today. Today I thought we'd do a fantastic little painting together. So I tell you what, let's start out and have them run all the colors across the screen that you need to paint along with me. While they're doing that, let me tell you what I've already done up here. Today I have a sort of a weird canvas, as you can see. I've taken some black gesso on a standard old 18 by 24 inch canvas here and painted these dark areas with black gesso. Then I've allowed the black gesso to dry completely. Now in the light area, I've just put a little bit of liquid white and just blended it out. In the dark area, you caught me putting on a little bit of, this is a mixture of phthalo blue, sap green, and Van Dyke brown. I want a dull, dirty green color, and you can sort of test it before you start. And all we're doing here is just covering all of the dark areas. This color is very transparent, so it still looks black. And with that, I want to show you how to do a scene that looks like you're deep in the woods. You know, you ever walked in the deep woods and the trees are all hanging over and it's quiet and the little squirrels are playing and everything? That's what we're going to do today. So let me just get all this covered. All we're looking for is just a nice coat of the dark mixture that we made. And now while we have that on the brush, let's begin thinking about some general basic tree shapes that live up in here. Just take the corner of the brush and begin bringing them right on out into the liquid white. All we're looking for here is just very basic shapes. Think about the big tree that's hanging over here. See, and you can pick up a little bit of color. Look at there. Just bring those shapes out. We'll come back and we'll put a lot of highlights and stuff in there. Right now, all we're looking for are very basic little shapes. There. Just as many or as few as you want in your world. Okay, maybe there's a bush that lives right here. See, that easy. We can put just a happy little tree there. And maybe he's got a little friend here. Who knows? Wherever you want him. Okay, now over here, here's another big tree limb that seems to be protruding over. And when you're putting this black gesso on, just sort of in your mind have an idea of how you want these trees hanging. There. And whatever happens, we use. There we go. See there? In my mind, I'm beginning to see huge trees that are hanging over here, and maybe there's a little light coming through. Oh, it'd be a super place to go and hide. All right. A few more bushes and trees down in here. But already you've got the basic shapes here that you're looking for. See, now maybe, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's get crazy. I want a bigger tree right here in the center. And in your world, if you want a tree to grow, all you have to do is make it grow a little bit. Maybe there's some little shapes you can see way back here that are little trees in between. There. We're not looking for a lot of detail in there, but already that's beginning to give you the appearance of a lot of mist and things happening. Okay, maybe up in here, way back in the distance somewhere, there's a little something, wherever. And you can just, here and there, put all kinds of little soft things. There we go. Now then, let's have some fun. Let's take the script liner brush. We'll dip it into some paint thinner, and I'll go back into some Van Dyke brown and that same color that we just made the little trees out of. You want this paint to be thin like ink. Turn the brush. That loads the bristles and brings the bristles to a nice sharp point, okay? Now maybe back in here, there's just the indication here and there of some little tree trunks and limbs and sticks and twigs and all kinds of little things happening. There. Just sort of make a decision where you think they should live and drop them in. That's all there is to it. There we go. See, back in here, very light. We don't want a lot of detail back in here. It's too far away. We can't see a lot of detail. There's one. There's another one. Just however many that you want. There. See, you can create all kinds of illusions here. And if you have trouble making this paint flow, add a little bit more paint thinner. If it doesn't flow, chances are you don't have quite enough paint thinner on your brush, because the thin paint will slide right over here. Okay. Looks like we've painted a whole forest already, and we've done very little work. Now then, I'll just take a little bit more of the paint thinner and go right into a touch of the titanium white. And same thing, bring that brush to a nice sharp point. And then we can put just the indication here and there of some little tree trunks that are a little bit lighter. There. Isn't that super? All right. Now then, let's start having some fun. We'll take a 1-inch brush today, and you could do this with your 2-inch brush or a fan brush. I sort of like to use the old 1-inch brush. I'm going to dip it into the least little touch of liquid white, just to thin the paint a little. Pull it right through the color. Be right back. I'm going to grab a little of that dark color we have on the canvas so it turns into a beautiful green. There. Now, load a lot of paint into the bristles and tap it. Tap downward. Downward like that. That loads the bristles. Okay, let's go up here. Now maybe, right in here, see, there's leaves on this tree. Just happy little leaves. And we're looking for shape here and form. Don't just throw these in at random. Think about the little limbs that live in there. There we go. Work on one tree or bush at a time. You can pick up a little yellow ochre here and there, a little Indian yellow, maybe right there. Just sort of look around and see what looks like it ought to be little bushes and trees. And just begin building all kinds of little things in here. Maybe over here. But we don't want to paint all of them. Leave some of them dark. There we go. Maybe back in here, just here and there, the indication of a few things. Don't want a lot of detail here. But we see these little stems and branches and stuff, so we want a few little things that are happening in there, but not many, not many. I don't want to lose that illusion of distance and softness back in here. There we go. So already that should begin, if you're painting along with me at home, you should begin having the appearance that you're deep in the woods and it's just a quiet little place. As I say, this is where all the little rabbits hide and the squirrels play. I still have a little pet squirrel that lives with me. There. We built him a great big cage. We call it Squirrel Hilton. Son of a gun's got 2 stories in it. Little pet house, and he lives quite well. He's almost ready to go back to nature. Okay, just all kinds of little happy things back in here. But work in layers here. Do one bush at a time, always working forward, forward, forward. And that helps create the illusion of depth and distance in your painting. Boy, that looks like some places I've been in Oregon and way out west there where they have all these big ferns and stuff that grow out in the woods. But see how the layers are creating the depth? That's what's important. It makes your painting really stand out. Now sometimes we want to make the indication that maybe a little light shining through these trees. So I'll show you how to do that. We'll just take the fan brush, a little bit of the cad yellow. There we are. A little yellow, a little green. And let's go up in here and just sort of at random think where light would shine through. Just sort of hit it, spin it a little bit here and there. Don't want too much of this. Just spin the brush. You can even pick up a little touch of the white if you want to brighten it even more. Just hit and spin. Grind that brush in there. You're not going to hurt it. There we go. Then with a clean, dry 2-inch brush, very lightly, you can just blend this out. See there? Let's go back over here. Just sort of blend that out a little bit. And when we put some leaves and stuff on these big trees, that'll help give us the impression that there's little bits of light shining through there. Okay, let's go back into our yellows and greens with a 1-inch brush. And let's begin working forward on some of these big trees. Tap some color into the brush. Now then, just touch and tap. That's all you're doing is just tapping using the corner of the brush. Tapping, tapping. And once again, think about individual limbs here. Don't just throw this in at random. There we go. A little yellow ochre once in a while just to change it, brighten it up, make it stand out. It's a great big tree back in here. And we're putting some limbs that are going to be in the back. Then we're going to put some trunks on, and we'll put a few more highlights in the foreground. There we go. See, just drop these in. I like doing these little paintings. This black gesso is one of the most fantastic things. It opens whole new worlds to you. I love the black canvases. They're so fantastic. Probably some of the most striking effects in this technique are accomplished on a black canvas. Okay, while we're doing that, let's go over to the other side. And on this old tree here, we'll drop in a few things. But look how color stands out on this. You would never get this kind of effect on a white canvas. There. Okay, maybe right here. Like it. Just sort of think about limbs that live inside this tree. Think about shape and form. I know you get tired of hearing me say that, but it's so important. There. Just one layer after another. You can almost hear the birds in here. Did you get to see the little blue jay I had on a couple of the shows in this series? That little sounded again something else. I borrowed him from the bird lady here in Muncie. He's a loner bird. Just borrow him for a day or two at a time. There we go. Now then, maybe just begin thinking about what's going on in here and what's happening, and let's take some black. I see right over in here, maybe. Let's go right up in here. Maybe there's some tree trunks come right down through here. There they are. And however many trees you want in your world, just put them in. This is just straight midnight black. Just straight old black. That's all there is to it. And there's a couple. Let's put a third one in there. Maybe there's a little one that lives in here, right there among those two big ones. And we can take our liner brush, paint thinner on it, a little bit of the black. I want this color once again to be thin like ink, so it'll flow on the canvas. And we can come right back in here, and let's begin just putting the indication here and there of some happy little tree limbs that live out in the woods. There. As I mentioned earlier, if you had trouble making your paint flow, add a little bit more paint thinner to it. There we go. There's one that comes right over in there. However, whatever. Painting is so individual. You sort of look at your painting and you make it the way you want it. We each see nature through different eyes. Okay, wash the old brush. Now then, let's put some highlights on top of that. I'm going back into the same color, same old 1-inch brush, and I'm just going to add a little brighter yellow. I want this to stand out a little better because it's going to be in front here. There we go. Now we can put some happy little things on there. Even this. Now our yellows are made to a thinner consistency than the other colors. But if you have trouble making it stick, then add a little touch of the paint thinner to the yellow, and then it'll come right off your brush. There we are. Isn't that fantastic? And you can do this. There's no big secret to it. We give you all the secrets right here on the show. All you need is the desire, a little imagination, and some practice. Just practice a little. There we are. See, and that pushes those tree trunks right back into that mass of trees. They're that easy. Okay. Let me find the big 2-inch brush. Let's go right into a little bit more of this yellow. Maybe there's some land here. I'm going to take the 2-inch brush and just tap. Pick up a little dark color so my green will get darker. There we go. Now tap it. Give it a little push. Push. Maybe there's some land here. Some soft little grassy areas. Just take the 2-inch brush and all you have to do is just tap. Just tap, just like so. See there? There we are. Now we can begin creating the illusion of just little hills back here. Start farthest away and work forward, forward, forward. There we go. Just layer after layer after layer. And this can be as soft as velvet. See, I should have put it in first before I put these trees, but you just put it right over them, then we'll pull the trees back through. There. A little bit more, right in there. There we go. Little Indian yellow, little touch of the bright red here and there. Ooh, that's nice. Gives it sort of an orangey flavor. And maybe over here, this one here will come right down and right in the foreground. Comes right in the front of that one. You have that much power, though. You can make the land go anywhere that you want it to go in your world. Anywhere that you want it to go. There. This is where I want to live. You can tell already. Okay. Maybe up in here. Let's put a little bush that lives right here in the corner. Just sort of to bring all that together. Still just using the corner of the 1-inch brush. And a little bit of black. I want to bring these trees back down into the painting here. I cut them off with the grass, but I want them to live right there. So we can pull them right back in the foreground, that easy. You can move mountains, you can change trees, anything that you want to do here. Anything that you want to do. That easy. All right. I tell you what, let's have fun. I love water. I love water. I would put it in just about everything that I paint. Let's take just a little plain titanium white. And let's have us a little pond here. Just take the white and pull straight down. It's going to pick up that color that's already on the canvas, and automatically, we're going to have a nice, happy little pond or whatever you want here. A little bit of water. There. All I'm using is just straight titanium white. But it's important that you pull straight down when you do this. Even if you put your brush crooked, pull straight down. Otherwise, it just won't look right. Just won't look right. Now, after you get this in, very gently come across. And these lines should be straight across. There. Isn't that fantastic that you can create water that easy? You can. You can. I tell people all the time, on this piece of canvas, you can do anything that you want to do, and you really can. This is total freedom here. I'm using a little dark sienna, a little white, a little Van Dyke brown. Put it on the knife. Let's go right up here. And let's just put the indication in here of a touch of land. And all I'm doing is just rubbing very hard. Just pushing that color right into the canvas. I want it to look like little sandbars or dirt sitting out here. This water, in my mind, is not very deep. It's not very deep. It's out here in the woods. It's just maybe a little puddle from a big rain or something. I don't want it to be real deep. Take a little titanium white, and to that I'm going to add the least little touch of dark sienna. I want it to be light, but I don't want it pure white. And I'm just going to cut off a tiniest little roll of paint. Okay. Now then, all you have to do Just want to put the indication here and there of a little water line. Actually, all I'm looking for here is a little light color between these darks. Just enough to set it apart. There. See how that makes it stand out? Fantastic. If you ever get one, let's say one here, it's too bright, all you have to do is rub it. It'll pick up that dark color that's underneath and automatically it'll go away. And maybe, I tell you what, let's go back to our 2-inch brush. Tap in a little more color. Maybe, in our world, maybe our land comes right down here, like so. Shoot, let's get crazy. Let's bring it right on down. Just let your imagination go. Where do you want it? There. But look how soft that is. And a super place to just take your shoes off and sort of run barefooted. There we go. A little Indian yellow, a little yellow ochre here and there. Just to change the flavor some. Every once in a while, the least little touch of the bright red. Least little touch. Don't want it to get bright red. But when you mix that with the ochres and the yellows and the greens, it makes a very nice little color. There. Okay. Shoot, we about got this rascal fixed. I want to clean that edge up a little. Okay. Now then, you know me. Shoot, I like big trees. So let's get crazy today. I'm gonna take the small knife, go right up here, and I'm gonna get a big roll of Van Dyke brown. A lot of Van Dyke brown on the knife. And let's decide, maybe, it does now. We have a big tree. Big, strong tree, and he lives right there. Right there. Now, if in your painting, if you don't want a big tree, just leave him out. I like it because it pushes everything in the painting back. Look at that, though. That easy. That easy, you can make a big old tree. Let's give him a big, strong foot down here. Got to have something to stand on. We don't even fall over in the lake and make a big splash. There we go. Okay. Now then, let's put some highlight on that. We'll use some white, a little bright red in it. Like so. Okay, cut off that small roll of paint. And it's right on the edge of the knife. And here, all I'm going to do is just touch the canvas. All you have to do is touch. It'll pull off what it wants, give you back what's left. Just want to put the indication here and there, some highlight on this trunk. See? But all you're doing is just touching the canvas. But you need to load the knife correctly. That little roll of paint is so important. It'll make everything work nice. There. And just let it blend backwards, getting darker and darker and darker as it comes back around this side. Darker, darker, darker. So you can make the indication of a little hole in the tree down here just by leaving that very dark and working around it. Now on the other side, you can take a little white, least little touch of Prussian blue, and just put the indication here and there of a little bit of reflected light. Not too much, just a little. Wipe off the knife. Now you can take just a touch of Van Dyke brown, sort of put it in the center here and bring it all together. That'll just bring those two colors together, and it really makes it look like it looks like a real tree trunk. It looks like real bark on there. You can feel it when it gets dry. Now then, I'm going to take paint thinner, go right into my Van Dyke brown. I want this thin like ink again. I know you get tired of hearing that too, but it's important if you want this to flow. Maybe right here. Ooh, there he is. Big old tired limb lives in that. He just sort of hangs out around here. This is where if you have a little nervous twitch in your hand, it really pays dividends, because these old tree limbs look better if they're sort of crookedy. There we go. A little bit more paint. and however many limbs you want. Put them on. Maybe there's another one. Yep, you're right. Lives right there. Right there. But see how easy that is? You can do it. You can do it. I get so many letters from people. Sometimes we put some of these letters in our newsletter and send them out and let you read those too. But in these letters, people are talking about how they never dreamed that they could paint. And they watch the show, look through the books, etc., and they're producing fantastic paintings. A little more of the color on here. Let's put some leaves on this tree. All we're going to do here is just tap. Think about some general shapes and just drop in some happy little things here and there, wherever you want them. There we are. Just drop a few little things in. But isn't that fantastic? That easy. You can complete a scene in a half an hour or so, or however long it takes. It looks like you're deep, deep in the woods, and you're in there with all of God's little creatures, and it's a super day. And I've enjoyed being with you. And from all of us here, I'd like to wish you happy painting. God bless. I look forward to seeing you again.